Single mothers have no value. Okay. It's my preference. I don't want to be with a single mom. Okay.
There is a vital aspect of value that Brittany Renner doesn't seem to understand.
You do have to take into account the fact that your value in different categories is down compared to a woman with no kids.
Stay away from single dads. Just listen.
Calling all single parents, young, old, white, black, we need to have an honest conversation about value. Welcome to my channel. Grab some popcorn, enjoy the video, and do not forget to subscribe.
Women would not want to date a single father with children for the only reason, not because they're turned off by like that, I guess, family dynamic, but because they don't want to enter a relationship already being the second person that they love. They don't want to ever have to compete with the children because there actually is no competition when there's kids. Like, she's never going to win against your children. You know what I mean?
Before the times that we live in today, whenever you met or encountered a single parent, you would naturally expect this person to be either divorced, be a widow or widower. But nowadays, that is the last thing on our mind because the one night stands from becoming one night has become a lifetime commitment. That's a joke, by the way. But regardless, people are entering relationships because they're lying and being manipulative to get some sex because they know that they're not fully going to commit to the person that they're choosing to be in a relationship with. And unfortunately, some things that are not planned for happen because most people, if not everybody, that are single parents did not want or plan to be single parents. Let's get that out of the way. So we got to show empathy because being a single parent is not hard and you should not be condemned for the rest of your life because of a mistake that you did not plan for. Because the people that judge you are not perfect, they have just not been caught. Now, with the aspect of value and with the male and female gender, we both need to understand that each value is different and there are different levels of value that each person can provide.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
So, with Brittany Renner as a scapegoat for this topic, one needs to understand the concept of competitive advantage. And normally speaking, someone like Brittany Renner, her advantage was her looks, her beauty, and nowadays that is fleeting because everybody in the industry is averagely attractive.
We live in a feedback system. I don't need 100 men, 10 men, 5 men to choose me. All I have to do is choose myself. And my outer reality will reflect that. Because, baby, I ain't in the business of convincing. And I think these conversations that seem to only happen on social media because and they don't translate in real life. We're here, but we're not here. I think it's important to like separate what's a podcast conversation versus what people actually care about. All the men that have reached out to me as of lately have no children and want several. It's easy to debunk these regurgitated, echoed narratives. A lot of men want to control how other men see women because they don't want them to want you. They don't want them to be able to see you. I choose me, and everything in my world chooses me too.
But one needs to understand that when you become a single parent, who, by the way, is choosing not to be in a relationship because she left her partner because PJ Washington cheated, you have to understand that the value aspect changes in terms of who is your target audience and what that target audience expects from you. Now, this is not to say that single mothers or single parents, single dads don't have any value, but the value that you're expected to bring will be different and might as well say be better when it comes to the intangibles versus a person that is childless.
Of course!
It is not just single men that don't want women that have children. Single women as well do not want men that have kids out of wedlock. And this is the funny thing. The difference with this is that when a woman meets a man that already has a kid and that man is not financially stable, he's still emotionally immature, we see that as a loss. But when a man has multiple children and he can still provide more than the average man that doesn't have a kid and is more mentally stable, more emotionally mature, and provides more value with those other things than the single man with no kids does, then there is a competitive advantage, or at least there is something that that single parent brings to the market that a single woman would have to think about. Ideally speaking, in the perfect world, two people want to come together when they don't have any baggage, no children, and start their own family. But unfortunately, that's not the perfect world that we live in.
It's an evil world we live in. But hey, I'm going to keep living.
So when you are in a state that you still have value, but now you have to improve the value or provide a different type of value that a single person with no kids will not have, you cannot just sit back and depend on the same value that you had when you didn't have any kids, because that value becomes the least desirable for your status. One of the things that you need to have in check in your life as a single parent is peace and a stable co-parenting schedule. If we look at what Brittany Renner has done for the past couple of years, in recent months, she has unwantedly or unfortunately been very toxic when it comes to the things that she puts or portrays about herself to the world.
I said it 100 fucking times. Hello?
Hey, listen,
That's not what I fucking say. Shut the fuck up when a real bitch is talking.
Okay. Wait a minute. I did nothing for that.
Oh, man, please.
Oh, that's... Wait a minute, Miss Renner. Miss Renner.
There are many baby mamas that are getting wifed up, and that's because they are improving on the other traits that outshadows the child that they have. And unfortunately, or maybe will I say fortunately, their target audience that they are going for has changed as well. But you cannot be chasing the same type of men and be saying some things that you say online and be behaving the way that you behave online and think that your value is innate and doesn't change, because that is being straight delusional. Wait for a second, I gotta ask a question. Have y'all subscribed to this channel yet? I know you are enjoying this video, so make sure you subscribe so we can fly. Back to the video.
It's not to say that you're not a good woman. No. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you do have to take into account the fact that your value in different categories is down compared to a woman with no kids. It is. So you have to find ways to bring your value up so you could be more valuable than a woman with no kids. It's women with no kids that I'm way more valuable than them in different categories. And it all depends on what that man values the most. It all depends on what that man values the most as to whether he's going to choose you or he's going to choose that woman with no kids. So whether y'all like to admit it or not, I'm going to say it again. It ain't no line of men that's lined up waiting to date no woman with no kids. It's not. And your value has to be, you have to bring more value to that man than she do. And he has to see what you have to offer as valuable, more valuable than her.
You cannot be giving a man, single man with no kids, I'm assuming that that's the type of man you're going for, or a man that has kids, more stress and more things to think about compared to a woman that doesn't have any kids. Even though you might be a better person, but what the person sees is what the person gets. Vice versa for a man that has a kid looking for a woman that doesn't have any kid, or a woman that has a kid. You have to put in more or show more that you are a better provider and a better secure or safe option.
They already have responsibility. They have kids, maybe multiple children. If they're younger, it's even worse. They have an ex-wife, baby mama, who knows? They have financial responsibility. They have financial responsibility for those children, that child, for 18 years, and honestly, probably longer than that. Do you think they are really looking for something serious unless they're looking for someone to mother these children and help take care of these children? They are dating selfishly because they are either looking for a maid, cook, nanny, and someone to have sex with, or they're not looking for something serious. They're just looking to. I'm just giving you advice from experience because I've been there. I stay away from these guys. I have guys that are friends that have children that are separated, divorced, whatever. And I ask them and they tell me the truth. They're like, they really don't even want to get married anymore. And they're not looking for a relationship. They're not looking for a girlfriend. And these are the honest guys. These are the guys that are actually good guys because they're saying, listen, straight up, they're saying, this is all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something serious. So if you're interested, great. If not, great. But most guys are not like that.
Unfortunately, there's some people that will never deal with people that have kids because they don't have a kid of their own. That's not your target audience. You can never do anything to get them to change their mind. But there is somebody for somebody if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to open, when I say open, your preferences. Even when couples divorce and they have kids, the men are more likely to get married or to get remarried. The women are more likely to be single because they are happier being single. And if you look at the stats, men higher often than not get remarried. And sometimes they get remarried, or most times they get remarried to women that already have kids. So this is not just about being a single mom, it's about providing something that men want. And generally speaking, what men want is companionship and somebody to take care of them. In another aspect, when a woman has kids, she can be independent because she knows that innately those children are going to grow up to take care of her compared to the man. So this whole thing that nobody wants a baby mama, nobody wants a baby daddy is kind of skewed to promote a certain narrative. But that's not to say that if you play your cards right and you do the things that need to be done, you can end up in a very happy situation despite the things that have happened. First comment says, glad you're back to Jesus Christ. I do not know what this lady is saying, but hey, everybody praise Jesus. Next comment says, you and Cardi B just don't get it. Game is game. And might I say, if their business was not on social media because they chose to do that by themselves, most people will probably not even know anything about what's going on behind the scenes of these people's lives. The final comment says, we as human beings are not like cars or items on the shelf. People do not determine your value, God does. There is a type of value that we don't appreciate, the value of being alone and being happy in your space. You may be lonely, that is possible, and that's a thing that everybody goes through, but you do not have to be alone. That's a different aspect of life that few people, even when they're in relationships, they still feel alone. So, be happy with yourself and don't care whether somebody else deems you valuable or not, because at the end of the day, we all have one life to live, and this life is too short to be miserable. Let me know your opinions in the comment section. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share.